this is less a tutorial and more of a overview of my secrets with how I model quickly in Blender. So first off, I already have like a startup Blender file. First, I use Control Spacebar to zoom into the panel that I'm in, and keep in mind the mouse has to be like in the panel that like you want to like zoom into. Once that's done, I have like a view. Obviously, you like Shift A to add like your primitives and add the like primitive that you want. Wait, what? I had nodes? I didn't know that. I use the 3D cursor to anchor like my like center of attention, and like I'd spawn objects quickly this way without having to like shift in and move, or like say like you're modeling a street, like if you want like a building block there, you wouldn't like spawn a cube and then like move it there, x y, which is also a thing you can do. Like you just put your cursor there and you just like spawn it and then you just like make it big. Like that should be like a self-explanatory like time saver thing. It's like little things that like you could pick up like on the way, and you try to keep your like a hand in the same place as you can. Like if a thing that you use often has like too many like button presses as a shortcut, you put it in your quick menu, and then like especially the walk navigation, because like if you go in navigation walk, there isn't even at least I don't think there's a shortcut key like attached to it, and then like I use it a lot to like to like move around. Like there's actually also another like thing that I use like especially like when I open up a new like Blender project that I haven't worked on in ages, and it's usually like an architectural thing. Like this is so useful for it. And then I would also probably like increase the field of view for those kind of projects. So like I got more. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that, but like you risk like having your models look weird and like not representative when viewed from like I keep it 30. I probably should have set this as my default, but like I kept forgetting about it and it doesn't really matter. So there's that. The other thing is to respect Blender's defaults and conventions. And what I mean by this is well, see, like Blender, like it has its own orientation and like its own axis for up and down. So if I like set my view to the front orthographic, there's a reason why it's named that. And like if you are trying to model the car, it doesn't make sense for you to like have the car face the like right orthographic, going this way. I can't think of a single example as to why you do that. Because if you're exporting for like other games with like different coordinate systems, like you'd still like do it through the exporter. There's a bit of shenanigans that goes on like with like the coordinate compatibility and like things and so on and so forth, but that's not the scope of this video. Especially when you're exporting to the website as like a final entry, you'd risk the viewport having to be like too zoomed in or zoomed too far. Like I made the mistake of like making a bridge and like the landmass like being too big, and then like the people can't like zoom in, which is like annoying. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Next, I'm going to talk about movement. Okay, before I forget, so you already know how to use the middle mouse button to move around the mouse to rotate, right? Well, I highly suggest you hold Alt first, and then use your middle mouse, and then navigate like so. Is there a better method? Probably. But this has been the method I've like been used to like since a long time ago, because I think like the tutorials I learned taught me to use the num keys to snap view and use the 9 key to like trigger back and forth on the respective sort of axis that I'm on. But I find that this is a lot more what is it? This is a lot more intuitive. And also, like, you don't have to move your, like, hands, like, too crazy. Like, your hand is, like, always on the mouse, and, like, always just ready to go. So, okay, let me guess Suzanne. So, monkey? Like, it's just so intuitive. It's also why I don't think, I think the mouse would better fit me, because, I'm just too used to the mouse. There's an operation I do a lot, and that is to move the 3D cursor to this object I have in interest. So I would press Shift S on the new object and go down, and then I select the object I want to move to there, and press Shift S again, but this time I go up. This one, like, you'd have to practice a lot, and then Shift C to center the cursor on the origin. That's another useful one if you want to, like, just push things, like, to the center. So there's that. That's like the most of the like navigation things, and this is like really powerful, like when you get to actually modeling. So say you want to, like, spawn something there, and like you want it to be exactly there. So if you saw my Sydney Harbour Bridge modeling tutorial, it wasn't much. I just put the 3D cursor at the corner, and then I just spawned like a cube for the pylons. It wasn't much. Like the time saver there was like instead of having the 3D cursor in the center and then like having to move the pylon there, I just have it spawn straight there, and then I join it into the main bridge which had the mirror modifier, and then I didn't have to duplicate it. That was all. Next up is loop cuts. This one I'm not gonna go into the detail of. I'm just gonna demo like a few examples. Okay. Right, and then here. So I'll hide these because like I don't want to touch these. Oh wait, no. 1, 3. Yeah, cool. So and then I Control I to select inverse, and then I have like a reasonably okay stroke. And maybe like I do this to make it even. This is like eyeballing it, so I'll just keep that in mind. And then what is it? Individual origins, and then hopefully this works. So that the lines become more parallel and like more wheel-like. Just like that. Yeah. It'll ruin the circularity of this middle bit, but like, if you want that, then so be it. So this video's getting long, like, I feel like all my other tips are tips you can find in other videos, and like, I don't feel like explaining them. I'll probably link really useful videos like in the description below. Blender Secrets is a really good like YouTube channel for like all like hidden tricks and like little techniques. So I think like for now, like I'll outline like my philosophy with modeling. So I try not to have too many macros and like too many like fancy widgets or plugins, because like I just don't think that like they'll last long, and I'm a bit of a naive person, like with always like trying to update to the latest version of Blender. Like back then, like it was just to like get onto the trend, like always like get into the new features. Now I'm not sure. I guess like it's still cool, but I don't know. So I know that there are people who like assign the W key for like all their like main things, and they like assign everything like in here. I just don't want to interfere with Blender's defaults, and like it just because like at one point Blender's knife cutter tool like it was assigned to K, and now okay, but what about A? Oh wait, so it's still A. Oh wait, no. I know what I'm trying to say. So, Blender's knife tool is always K, but what was it? Like aligning used to be Control, and like that tripped me up so much. Like when like there was this new Blender version that like had it assigned to A. So like I don't know. Like Blender also has its like phases, I guess. That said, I'll run you through my macros. So, honestly, like when coming up with macros, like I had such a hard time because I just could not come up with like any good ones. The best one I have is G6. So like right where my pinky is, I have it assigned to the period key, where it like it brings up the individual origins. So instead of like reaching over here, like I just like have this like thing. This is like right there. I can just like it's a bit laggy, but. And like that makes it quicker. So like if I just want general and I just do this, I'm still getting used to it. Like it's not something like and one more thing, like this is a really powerful shortcut. It's snapping. So say I'm gonna model this keyboard. Okay, so first start with a what is it? Cube. We'll do dissolve. So that like I still have like the face. Go down, and maybe go with this, get the aspect ratio right, and then I will go into here, keep the scales, and then like that. I don't know, I'm not sure if this is the right size of it for keyboard. Okay, we'll do 30 centimeters. Okay, something like that. Yeah, half a meter. Yeah, that's it's a big keyboard. That's fine. And then probably go do something like this. No. I'll keep this. Okay, this is where it comes in. So I moved this out of the way as like a what is it? Spare thing. And then I'll probably like gonna do this. So this is like a top little blade thing, and then I do this, right? Okay, maybe it doesn't come in. Oh no, it does. Here. So oh, okay. Well, here's where this comes in. Like, I have like, how like you scale, and then like set 0. Well, I have that as a macro. So like I just do this, and I should like snap to the 3D cursor. I mean, I never use that because it takes a bit of like cerebral things. But here, this is where the snapping comes in. So, if I press Control Shift Tab, I could select face, and what I could do is I could grab an edge, and I could like move the edge and like align it to the face, just like that. And I could delete this face like for optimization purposes. Like, I don't think it's that necessary, but it's always a good habit to delete shit you don't need. So yeah, there's that. So you got 2 volumes that you could work with. So that's like the power of like the what is it? Shape? What is it? The snapping settings. And another good practice you could have is to just minimize like the amount of vertices you need to deal with. So if you can just use a solidify modifier, like just use it, and then you could like do a way more complex operations, like moving this up. Oh sugars, moving this up. And like scaling down, and you can apply like if it's like decent enough in it, but make more complex changes. But like that's like the general gist. And then don't do that. And I move this out of the way just to check if I like mangled anything as well. So there's that. Cool. And then what is it? Go in. If it's getting too distracting, you could always like toggle this off so like the modifier doesn't show up while in edit mode. But yeah, there's that. So I think that's all really. And happy speed on. Bye bye.